Wilto makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabizas totally stranded.
Hello, dear viewers and listeners, and the few of you that are doing neither, then you can just ignore me. Hello, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonder. It's the very first and only one of the day. I did ask some of the other reprobates if, are any of you free? And I'll let you people in the chat guess how many of ABW put their sticky paw in the air, waved it at me, said, please, sir, me, sir, yes, sir, I'd love to come on. How many? Bugger all. Do you know why? Because quite frankly, they're scum. And talking of scum, no, there's none in the chat. Talking of wonderful guests, one of my favourite human beings in the entire world, and there's members of ABW that live an hour from me, an hour and a half, 3 hours. This bloke flew 42,000 miles from sunny Canada land to come and see me. He gave me a big hug, and we had Chinese, and we sat up all night talking about films and reminiscing of when we were both had flares and I don't know, punk-coloured hair. Save me, Geoff. Save me. It's Mr. It's an ABW legend. It's Holler. OG. Mr. Hollerfrand. How are you doing?
What's happening? Danny, what's happening?
That intro took me nearly 2 minutes because I forgot what I was meant to say. Yeah, not a lot's happening. What's happening with you?
I am, as I was telling you pre-show, I am nursing a mighty hangover. Got into the sherry last night. Had a bunch of friends over. And like I said, I found myself at midnight eating grapes that had been soaked in vodka and prosecco. So my brain hurts, but managed to wake up this morning, watch the Community Shield, and that all worked out, man. So yeah, I'm great. It's great. It's nice to be back. Thank you for having me.
It is wonderful to have you back on. I've been trying to twist your arm for about 3 years since the last time you're on. Do you know someone called Emerson Allen Cozier? Is that one of your lot?
No.
I hope it's a Brazilian.
Good evening to you, Emerson. Tip of the hat.
Indeedy. Phil Macker is there, and Spin is there on Twitch, and Mr. Jimmy Hughes and Paul Nell, not Neil. Nell is there as well. Yeah, what do you think first of all, are you excited with the fact that Arsenal have already done a triple? We've won the the quadruple MLS All-Star Cup. We won the MLS Skills Trophy. We've won the Emirates Cup and the Charity Shield. I mean, that's the quadruple, and the season hasn't even started. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I am abnormally excited. I dropped that in another chat this morning. I'm abnormally excited. I mean, it's having all of those trophies already has just been a phenomenal season, and it hasn't even started yet. So I mean, we all know how trophies work. We lord them over Spurs, whatever they may be, unless it's the Audi Cup. And I'm absolutely buzzing after the game today because we know it is still preseason. It's not really an official thing, and it's definitely not official if we lose, but to get one over on City early is nice. And it's nice to go into the season like that. And it's nice to kind of have that buzz about the team, which I think we're going to talk about tonight, but it's great. It's great to see. It was a great victory. I think the one thing that really makes it a little bit more special is you start to wonder if it's gone when you hit the 98th minute. And you're not really sure. You're like, are we running out of time? And then, of course, Gav from She War's advice comes through, and we just should shoot more. And once you do that, then great things happen. So, great start to the season. I'm buzzing. I can't wait for next weekend.
Shooting more is indeed the answer. And I've got some beautiful pictures to put up here. There's this one. I mean, look at Trossard, the Belgian waffle of a human being. That is a thing to behold. Wonderful player, and some people may have thought he did a bit of a Brian Marwood last season. Came in partway through a season, was wonderful, and then the next season or so, fade away. But he hasn't. In pre-season, he was arguably our best player. Today, he came on and saved us because I mean, look at that Man City. I mean, that's Phil Foden there, face like a smacked arse. then we got a little bit of celebration there. I mean, that's wonderful, isn't it? Like you were saying, if we win it, it is a magnificent trophy. If we didn't win it, then it was only a pre-season nonsense that we weren't taking seriously.
No, absolutely. I think there's a lot of good things, but you don't want to overanalyze it either, right? Because it probably will take us 10 games this season to sort of settle into a rhythm and know really what we've got this year. I think we all are under the understanding that we have something special. We have a special team. There's something to build on from last year. We're 1 year older, a bit more experienced, but there was some really good things in that game. The defensive discipline, particularly in that first half, where City were quite content holding the ball for a long periods of time. We didn't, we were, good old fashioned 2 banks of 4, right, and defended well. And then we grew into the game and got some chances in the first half. I think Havertz was unlucky in the first half not to get a goal. And the longer that game went, City bring in De Bruyne, they bring in Foden, but it was really the goal that they got was because we got a little too adventuresome and did some things we probably shouldn't, and we lost our discipline a little bit. I mean, Partey lost the ball, and I think Tierney was a little unlucky, but there's a lot of positive there, and to see all 3 of our signings start the game was fantastic, and all 3 of them I thought played very well.
Yes, indeed. Some comments in the chat that I wanted to just go and highlight. Ron Ree is there. He's a man after your own heart. He has a BMW X5 and a BMW 8 Series. Oh, you already leant forward when you saw the car. Tell him about the BMW that you got rid of to get your electric Golf, because that's with the BMW you had, we don't get in this country, I don't think. What was it?
No, you do. It was an E90 M3. So
but it was twin turbo, wasn't it?
Not turbo, no, but it was a V8. So it was a naturally aspirated V8, 400 and something horsepower. It was an awesome car, but it was a little expensive to run. And then before that, I had the 335i. But now
was that twin turbo?
That is a twin turbo.
That's the one I was on.
And in my opinion, a garbage engine. But that's just my opinion. That's going out on the internet. So.
Because
I do miss that M3 every now and then.
I should think you do. Me and OG, me, OG and Chris, me and Chris don't get involved, but me and Chris both send OG 10, 15, 20-minute WhatsApp audio messages. And me and Geoff, the last one we had, it was just back and forth explaining how our license plates in each country work. So
it was riveting. We should just play that for the next 20 minutes. The audience will love it.
Paul says that Kane scored 4 goals in a friendly trophy, so they did that today.
Fantastic.
Paul also asked, how do you think Trossard has his waffles? Well, we have a Mr. Waffles in the house here. I don't actually eat waffles. I don't like the idea of them. The only waffles I have in this country are potato waffles that you have with fish fingers and tomato sauce, but sugary waffles, it's the devil's work, so I've got no idea. Boy 10. Always likes to have a bit of a moan. Says, incredibly disappointed with Arteta for starting Havertz and not Trossard. Doubly disappointed he started Havertz at centre forward when we know he's supposed to be played CM. Any thoughts on that? Do you think that maybe Arteta was just testing him in the forward role because it was a chance?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a bit harsh on Havertz. He's played that false 9 for Chelsea, not particularly well. He did play in more advanced roles in Leverkusen very well. So, I can see the logic there. But that said, I know we're going to talk about predictions this year. And Trossard in preseason has looked amazing. And when you look at what Trossard's done since joining, his numbers are crazy. I think, we'll probably talk about it a little bit more as we go, but he had something like 10 assists in the 20 games he played for us. And I think he only started about 10 of those, right? And that was last season. So he's a guy that if we can get him in, even off the bench, he could score, 10 or 11 goals this season, I think, or maybe even more. He's that player. And then if you add in assists into his game, he's looking like one of those signings this calendar year. And I know that's not a thing to do signings of the calendar year, but he could easily outperform any of the 3 that we've signed this summer. He's just a wonderful player. So I do, like I said, I can see the logic of starting Havertz there and bringing Trossard in off the bench. I can also see the logic of making the argument that you start Trossard up front. But I think it's harsh, and I think you can make a debate either way.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the predictions. I'm sure we're going to talk more about the Charity Shield if any of ABW turn up midweek. I'm not sure they will. Maybe they will. Who knows? It'd be a surprise if any of them do. I mean, there's only 142 of them in the group, and not one of them has turned up to watch this, even though I put it in the WhatsApp groups, because quite frankly, Geoff, they all need firing. Let's press buttons, get things up on the screen, and hope they're not my Ibiza 2017 naked beach pictures. No, they're not. Good. Saved it. Now, you are an ABW. You did the ABW blogs for about 3 years-ish, and so you are a blogger. So you put lots of thought into these. We had another blogger on, Mike McDonald. I take it you've seen some of his stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
He has a theory that if we do sign Gaya, is that his name? Gaya? Raya. If we sign Raya, that we may well see goalkeeping tactical substitutions during Premier League games.
Really? That's an interesting theory. I don't think I'd be so bold as to say that. What was it? Was it the Dutch? Was it the Dutch that brought Krul in for penalties? A few years ago?
It was. Yeah, because he was good at saving penalties.
Yeah. No, I would not agree with that. So,
I hope he does it at least once. Then Mike will go, look, I told you so. Just a couple of things to confirm. Your name is Geoff.
It is.
And your surname is Hullen Funden.
Perfect for pronunciation.
And you are, in fact, an ABW legend.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I was on ABW once in a while. Did some blogging, but I don't know if I'm a legend. We did me and Jace did the first radio show together.
We did.
Remember? You guys called me on my phone and we were live.
And I got very angry with it. I went, I'm quitting. You lot sort this out. And I left you to it.
You got so bad. But like there was no Ethernet connections, nothing. It was like a FaceTime on YouTube. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was horrendous. They are all on the YouTubings if anybody wants to go and have a little peeky boo.
Don't go watch that one.
No. And so we invented it. And now look, everyone else has taken it to higher places, and what a wonderful thing we did. So, Premier League winner, what's OG going for?
Well, you got to go Arsenal after today, right? I mean, like let's just put Arsenal down and let's put them in. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we're another season on. We've hopefully learned from our season last year with that experience, the disappointment of losing. City's a fantastic team. I mean, you can see it even today in the way they play the ball, and they are years ahead of us in their project. But you've got to give it to Arsenal because it's not. There's another 18 teams in the league other than us in City, and if we can go out and finish those games, I think we've got a great chance of winning the league. And I think that was the difference, right? I mean, we could afford to lose to City twice last year, and it does expose the gap in quality, I think, at times, because City is a daunting task. But you know what? We close out some of those other games that really should have been a result in our favor, and I think we can win the league. And I think the signings we've made will only make us better. So I'm going to go first.
What do you make of Haaland today? That's now 6 games in a row he hasn't scored in. Does that come into this at all?
No. We'll get to the top scorer in all comps, and I'm going to say Haaland at that point. And he's a quality player. He's physical. He knows how to find the net. He's just an unbelievable player. So I don't read too much into the game today. I think it was a really cagey game that sort of had a little bit of hallmarks of a preseason game with a bit of cup in there. So I don't put much in it. I think he's going to be just fine. So nothing. I still think Arsenal has the quality to finish first. I have to think that.
He has scored 1 goal in his last 10 appearances for Man City, including the Charity Shield, but not the other friendlies. 1 in 10 people. He's been found out, Geoff. It's all over. They've given him a firmware upgrade. And like most things Apple do, they've ruined him, which makes me incredibly happy. Oh, we've got some more talking stuff in here.
Some good points in the chat.
Boy 10 says Haaland overrated. Phil says we don't need to beat City to win the league, but we need to if we want to win the Champions League. Boy 10 says Saliba going to find him at the bottom of his pocket where the lint is. And Paul says Haaland didn't have service today. Oh, Kaiser Sose is on the Twitch, and you can tell he's an old-time listener. Nanu, cheeky monkey.
That is an old reference. Danny special.
Indeed. Nice to see you there, Kaiser. Right, Arsenal top goal scorer, all competitiones is. What have you got?
I was looking at this because I watched a few of these, and I know the tendency is to say Saka. I think if Jesus can stay fit, he would have a chance. And that's probably the biggest question mark about this is if he can stay fit. And it's not a great sign that he was out today. It looks like he's out. Danny, like a couple weeks, I think is what they said. It's not a great start. But the reason I want to call on Jesus is he had 11 goals last season in 26 games. And that's right behind, the 15 goals of Saka and Martinelli and Odegaard. So he's a guy that if he can stay fit, I think it'll be Jesus, but I don't think he can stay fit. So I just said all of that for nothing. So who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with Martinelli. That's my pick.
He looked tasty today, didn't he?
I do think Trossard's going to score a ton of goals this season, but I don't think he'll be our top scorer. So I want to just give him a shout out as well. I'm so impressed with him as a player. But,
do you think Arteta's ever going to make room in the first team for Trossard?
Well, he's an interesting player because, I think if you're good enough, then he deserves his spot 100%. And Trossard is getting the business done. But there's also the argument that Trossard keeps coming off the bench and scoring. And so, sometimes that comes into a coach's thoughts as well, is that, late in the game, I need an impact sub, someone who's going to score a goal. That becomes an effective tactic. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I don't have that decision to make myself because Martinelli is fantastic last season. Trossard's fantastic. It's one of those things where you look at it and you go, well, that's a good problem to have. And if Trossard started starting games, I would have no problem with that whatsoever. He's just been fantastic. But, again, he's coming off the bench and scoring goals, and that can be an effective use of the squad as well. There's Rudy Raslos.
Someone from ABW.
See, Femster showed up.
Femster, and because Femster turned up, we do this to honour him. There he goes. Look at that. Look at that beautiful bastard. Oh, makes the lady swoon. Femi says, we do need to beat City to win the league. 2 games we lost to them was the swing, especially when you're aiming for 85 points plus. Very true. Rudy says, it helps if you can win all the games. Well, we've done that. We've done a season invincible, and we don't want another golden trophy. The insurance for a golden one compared to a silver one was nearly broke the club. We had to sell a stadium to pay for it. Boy 10 says, my front line for the Premier League games will be Saka, Trossard, Martinelli. Flip a coin as to where Martinelli and Trossard start. We have got a lot of that interweaving and swapping places. And I even heard today that Ben White and Timber could possibly swap places during the game, which that would confuse people. Waffles said we should win all of our games. Waffles was on last night if people want to go and see his
that's a smart
predictions and laugh at him. So Spurs' final position, Jeffrey, old boy, what are you going to go for?
Without having looked at all the teams that I think would finish above them, I think 8th is probably my bet. They're gonna lose Kane by the looks of things to Bayern Munich, which is to me just an absolutely bizarre piece of business. I think he's and somebody in the chat will correct me, but he's 30 years old and he's I think he's 1 year away from being able to leave for free, I think. And they're going to pay 100 million for him. Bayern is, it's just daft all around.
$4,000 a week.
Yeah, I mean, Kane is just an amazing goal scorer, right? But that's a lot of money. But Tottenham without Kane is worse than Tottenham with Kane. That's the obvious statement of the day. And
You're a
I can't see them.
genius.
Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable. We should score more. Also, while we're at it, we should shoot more. But yeah, I can't see them finishing higher than 8th.
Absolutely wonderful. And I mean, the fact that there were rumours were that 400 grand a week. Germany don't pay anybody 400 grand a week. The best players in Germany don't get paid 400 grand a week. So not happening. FA Cup winner, are you going to go for a cheeky double for the Arsenal here?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's our trophy. There's no question on that.
Yeah.
No question. We've got that one.
How about the League Cup?
So
you're
this
going
one,
to chuck a bone to City?
It's City, Newcastle, or Villa for me. And I think Villa would be the outsiders or the pretenders for that.
Yeah.
But I do think City, I mean, they've won it multiple years. I think that's probably a likely candidate for the League Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup, as they call it.
Someone said that what West Ham won last season was the Coca-Cola Cup of Europe.
Really?
If they were a little bit older, they would have gone, it's the European Zenith Data Trophy. That would, or the European Makita Tournament Trophy.
The Fairs Cup. Cup.
There's one for the dads. Champions League winner, Geoff. This is where it's like sticking a thermometer up your bum and testing your temperature. If you say Arsenal for this, we know you've lost your marbles.
No, I can't say Arsenal. I think Al Nassr, ALNASSR.
Yeah,
they're gonna win. They're gonna win the Champions League.
I wouldn't put it past.
They're gonna find a way to buy their way into it. No, obviously I'm joking. I think it'll be Real Madrid. I think it'll be Real Madrid. They look like a quality outfit, and Bellingham's a pretty amazing player. I get the argument with Arsenal that it's our first full campaign in the Champions League in a number of years. Still a young team, and I do think we're still capable of dropping a clanger in a game. So I don't know. Yeah, to me, I don't see us doing it. But with a good run of games in the group stages, let's get out of the group stage. Let's get some good European nights ahead of us and under our belts and gain from that experience. And then who knows, maybe a year from now we'll change that prediction. But I can't see past Madrid.
Indeed. It's the logical thing to go for. Now, top goal scorer from the Premier League, but all competitions. Are you going to go for the T1000 or are you going to surprise us with a blogger?
I think it's Haaland.
Yeah.
The thing with Haaland, and somebody said it in the chat that, the good news for Haaland is he isn't going to be playing William Saliba every week. So he probably might score a few goals here and there, but yeah, how about Saliba? Saliba played so well today. He looked good. He looked really good today.
He is a monster of a player.
Got to keep him fit. We've got to keep him fit.
I've got another picture here. I'm not sure who's in the picture because I'm only looking at a thumbnail. Who is this?
Saliba.
No, that is Saliba. Yeah, Saliba, Erdegaard, Trossard, and 14. That's Eddie. You can't see Eddie because his elbow is. Look at him, Geoff. Our players are so good; they're all floating. None of their feet are touching the floor apart from Eddie, and he's only doing 1 foot.
Yeah, a bunch of show-offs. They're just showing off for you and me, Danny, who can't do stuff like that. So.
And there's a man with a sausage roll stuck in his face.
Well, now there's an ABW legend.
He is a legend. We've had a few legends on. We've had you, we've had FK, we've had Fifey, Gav, another one, but I hadn't come up with the legend idea by there. But Gav should be ABW founder. It should be a special badge because he invented ABW.
Gav, yeah, he is. He's got the founding rights.
Does he?
I did tune in. Yeah, I tuned in and watched a bit of FK's episode. It's just his voice is just so silky and smooth.
You either end up erect or asleep.
He's a gentleman too, and I've met him in real life. FK,
yeah,
a very engaging and humble human being, and a very nice fellow. Not unlike yourself, Danny.
Well, that's a complete lie, but I'll go with it. The winner of the championship. I'm going to have a guess at what team you're going to go for here. It's going to be Pacific FC. Do you think they've got much chance in the championship this year?
They may do, or Al Nasser. No, I'm going to go Leicester. I think Leicester's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody? Oh, a few people up at the top pick Leicester.
I had Leicester, but then I changed my mind and picked Leeds.
I was listening earlier. Somebody was picking Middlesbrough. Actually, might have been FK actually, and I was thinking about all their players that they used to have, right? Like Juninho and was it Ravanelli, the Italian silver fox, and
the white feather, as I used to call him.
Do you remember the Invincibles going to Borough? Like it was one of the early games in the season, and I want to say Gilberto Silva scored a volley. Do you remember that? Was it him?
No idea. I can say
We're in the yellow and blue kit.
I have very little memory of anything. Phil asks, is this our best back four since the Invincibles? We've got two back fours, but I suppose he means Zinchenko on the left and Saliba, Gabriel, and then Ben White on the right. Or it could even mean Timber on the left because Timber looked amazing today, didn't he?
That's a good question. I think you have to conclude that this is, without the trophies, our best bet at being the best team since the Invincibles. I know that might be controversial to some, but that's. I think you have to conclude that like it's a solid back four. There may be some individuals. I'm still not 100% sold on Zinchenko, especially with his injuries. But then if you say, well, we've got Timber that can go in there who looks the business. But I think you're onto something. So who was that? Who asked that, by the way? Was it Phil? Good question, Phil.
Phil has one good question per show, so he spunked his load after 26 minutes. Everything from here on out is just going to be utter dribble. See someone predicted QPR. Do you want to know who that was?
It was whoever was on last.
It was this
Mr. Waffles.
Mr. Waffles in Portland, off his tits on edibles, no doubt, when he made this prediction.
Well, at least he's on the West Coast.
Oh dear! How is your island? Is it on fire, or did you manage to avoid all the fires?
No, there were fires earlier this summer. They were pretty bad. They're further up island, and there's a popular vacation place called Tofino on the island, which is where everyone goes. All the hipsters go in the summer and hang out. And it was really difficult to get in and out of Tofino. In fact, people that got stuck there because the fire was near the road in. Had to take logging roads, which are not fun to drive on if you're familiar with what a logging road is to get out of there. And it took multiple hours. And there you go, Emerson. Tip of the hat, right? Tip of the hat back to Emerson again. Backing up my weird facts.
See, people, I'm not talking over Geoff. He has Bluetooth earbuds in like Waffle did last night. Have you got Bluetooth? No, you haven't, have you?
No, I don't have anything in my ears.
So sometimes when people have got Bluetooth, there's a slight delay. But there is a slight delay between me and you. It's I don't know.
Maybe in technology, but we're on the same wavelength.
I smell what you're cooking, Uncle Geoff. Right, final question. The first manager to get the elbow.
Who's it going to be? I think if West Ham hadn't won a cup last year, it would have been Moisey. But I think he's maybe bought some goodwill at that club. So I'm going to go Sean Dyche. I think he's going to be gone. I think Everton's just been dreadful.
Ooh,
look at that.
Someone picture that for us. Oh, let's put up. What's his name? Scored the penalty today. Fabio Vieira in the top right-hand corner.
Okay.
Did you know that it was Fabio Vieira that was actually in Prison Break?
No, I've never seen Prison Break. I'm sure someone's going to rip me for that. But
watch series 1 and then burn it. So you say it is going to be. Who did you say? I wasn't listening.
Sean Dyche. Everton.
Only one person has said that. Let's see.
They were dreadful last year. Yeah. Who was it?
Mike McDonald, the blogger.
Oh no. I'm in with the guy who picked Raya to come in as a sub.
And Nkunku to be top goal scorer.
Okay, well, I didn't do that. So,
A
you
few
know what?
bloggers.
I stick to my guns. I think it would be hilarious if Pochettino walks.
Yeah.
I would have picked Lampard if he was in the league, but he's not because he's hilarious. But no, I'm going to stick with Sean Dyche. I think Everton are just dreadful. They're dreadful.
They are indeed. Let's scroll up on this shenanigans and have a little looky poo of what we've got. Actually, need to put it about there so your head isn't in the way. Bloody thing. So there you go. That's a lot of them. You would predict number 28. Who's the most famous Arsenal number 28?
There you go. Who was famous Arsenal number 28? I have no idea.
Was Kolo Toure 28?
Oh, could have been actually.
You have to let us know in the chat if anybody knows. Oh, Spin is using the emotes that I made of Dennis Bergkamp. That's the only thing I ever did. The rest of them, our very own Nick made them. Phil says there are several could lose their job very quickly. That's true. Boy 10. The only thing I am most chuffed about after the win is the fact that the rival fans are absolutely seething. They can't handle that Arsenal are back. Oh, here we go. Stanch. Is he one of yours?
Stanch, sweeper.
Look at that.
He is one. Look at that tattoo.
LWO, mother truckers.
I will see you later, Stanch. Stanch and I are going to go for ribs today. All you can eat ribs.
See, my thing with ribs is I'd rather have what was on the ribs rather than the bony, gristly bit left over. But if Geoff, that's all you can afford, I'll send you $5 Canadian so you can get something proper to eat.
All you can eat ribs. After the grapes last night, that's going to really hit well.
You might be able to actually levitate.
You're like on a different planet.
We should say hello to everybody who was part of LWO. You have a special place in my heart, and you are lovely people. And I am only in contact with one person who I went to school with, Tony the Worm Steeden, and we didn't do anything you did. We just left school at 16, and that was it. We didn't do university, didn't do any of the stuff that you and your mates did with beer parties and wearing your pants on your head and all that other wonderful stuff. We did nothing.
Well, I can't say you really missed out on the pants on the head stuff. You know, sometimes you look back and it's like, well, what was I thinking there? Then you realize you weren't.
I think Loki's got a BMW as well. He said it in the chat before.
Loki.
Yeah.
Loki's in the chat quite a bit, isn't he?
He is. He's a regular.
Tip of the hat. Tip of the hat to Loki then.
Pretty kind. Emerson says it was Touro played 28. Phil says the plastic hammers are getting more angry about Rice as the weeks go by. And Mr. Waffle says 9. Excellent. I don't know what 9 means. I could well have asked the question and now I forgot what it was.
Might be Emerson in the chat was asking what the cursed number is. I don't know.
Cursed number. Number 9. Well, number 9 was... I'd say it's number 10 after Bergkamp left it. Gallus was rubbish. Jack got permanently injured. ESR hasn't had much of a choice.
That's a good shout, actually.
Haunted. Oh, Loki's got a broken M3.
I've been there, Loki. I've been there.
Oh, dear.
Bring my wallet. That's BMW. It's not fun.
Sean's got a new car. A 2023 Audi A3. It's bloody horrible.
It is.
Oh, I prefer her Golf. But there you go. It's not about me, is it, Geoff? It's about her and her needs. And your Golf, your little electric Golf, worth its weight in gold, which is lovely to hear.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Loki. I'm just looking at Loki's comments in the chat. I'm sorry, man. That's not fun. I don't mean to laugh. That's a whole lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah, my Merc has a timing chain, and when they go, oh, mama, things come out the bonnet. Yeah. I had on my M3, I had both throttle actuators go, and that was about $6,000. That was fun. But yeah, no, it's the e-Golf was great. I'm not like one of these zealots who is like go electric or anything. It just worked for me, so I'm not gonna talk it up. There's T Money. He's also going for ribs today. T Money.
So we're gonna
now.
T Money is a legend, just like Stanch. But T Money, what a guy.
Is he the one who stands up all the time?
He's the glue. Yeah, he's the glue of he's a glue guy. One of the glue guys of LWO. He's
the one who always stands up, isn't he?
Yeah. And
very good looking chap.
Amazingly good looking chap. And the one thing about T Money, which I'm thoroughly impressed with, he doesn't do WhatsApp. So, we all have WhatsApp. We have it for our Bergkamp Wonderland. We have all this other stuff. And so, it's easy to have all these group chats. Troy doesn't do any of that. He does everything via like an SMS, like by a text message. And like, it blows my mind. So, anyways, well done, T Money.
I have taken Facebook and I have taken Instagram and I have taken all the apps off of my phone, and then all my WhatsApp, and they're all muted. So no one can contact me because I hate it. I see looking at my phone as a waste of my time. So there you go. Nice to have you here, T Money. You lovely man, looking after Geoff, making sure the shows run fine. And the LWO shows, although I have very little idea about what's going on, I find them extremely entertaining.
Yeah. None of us know what's going on, Danny. That's the beauty of it.
That's the key.
That's the beauty. It's just chaos. Is that Mass Gunner? Is that Mass Gunner in the chat? He's on my island as well.
He's on Vancouver Island?
Yeah, if it's the same one from Mass Gunner from Twitter, he's just up island.
Up island. Sounds lovely.
So a tip of that to him. He's in I can't remember where. He'd have to tell you where he is. I want to say it's like Cowichan or somewhere like that.
So, Loki said he's going to get a Cavalier SRI, and in Europe that was known as the Opel. What was it called? Not the Ascona. It might have been an Opel Ascona or Recorder. I don't know. He's saying yes, it is.
Okay, there you go.
I had all these years, Mask Gun. I've seen you in the shows, and I had no idea that you and Geoff share the same toilet system.
Wow. This is wrong, Danny, because you introduced us.
Did I?
Did you know that?
Yes. No.
Yeah, there you go. That was an amazing statement that you made. Yeah, you introduced us on. You said, "Hey, I was talking with this guy, and I think he lives on your island. His name is on Twitter." And you said his name is Mass Gunner. Anyways.
And does T Money live on the island as well?
Yeah, and Stanch. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of islanders. It's pretty amazing.
It's a bloody invasion.
It is. You better get me off the airwaves before this goes south.
It is. Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I've done some good in the world. That is lovely. Phil's asking any more shows tonight. No, because no one else can be bothered. And I think tomorrow might have some shows, but I don't honestly know. I've lost track. I'm getting bored of doing these. I mean, this is number 28. Saved the best for last, obviously. Right, Geoff, there you go. I have got a little something here, which I bought from the Chinese equivalent to eBay. It's 4 pairs of socks, cost me £3. Wow. I don't know why I bought them. I don't want them. They probably won't fit my fat feet. And that's it. That's breaking news.
It's unbelievable. I was not expecting that. So that's I'm going to cherish that moment on the show forever. So thank you for that, Danny.
Lovely. Right. I would say, where can people find you on Twitter? Oh, we are. Look who's turned up. Look who it is.
Yeah.
It's the windswept one himself.
He left me like a good 17, 18 minute in WhatsApp earlier today. I'm only about halfway through, Chris.
I've got to do you one.
I've got to take a break. I got to take a break.
Oh, dear. Right. I was going to say, let people know where you are on Twitter, but there's no point because you've got your account locked. You do Instagram, but that's private, and you don't do any blogs or podcasts, so you might as well just go.
Well, there's not really much point in following me anyways.
No, there's no point doing anything really. Just
no. Mass Gunner asked that question. No, I did not go to LA. I had work commitments that week where I had to work through the weekend, so. All good.
And you don't like being around poor people.
I like going to LA, but I didn't end up going.
Right, let's end this. So it's been an absolute joy having you on again. You're my favourite. I mean, I tell everybody that, but you really are. I mean, you're the only one that I send audio messages to that spend half of my day to record it. So and we're going to end it. We're going to put this up the top corner for all you Canadians there.
Fantastic.
And if you want to give and sing your national anthem, feel free.
I'm going to hold off today just because I'm still, the head hurts. The head hurts.
The grapes
really got me.
No, we don't want to see those grapes again. And say thank you very much for coming on, Geoff. And hopefully you'll come back on in about 3 or 4 years' time. And I'm looking forward to that immensely.
It was my pleasure, Danny. I will come back on sometime this season. How about that? We'll work something out.
That would be try and get you and Chris.
If folks want me back on, but
of course they do.
But yeah, I'll come back. It's always a pleasure. I don't always like talking about Arsenal. Sometimes I feel like I'm over it, but definitely going into the season, I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. I think we should all be very excited about the season. So, anyways, it's great. Thank you for having me.
If you wave goodbye to the boys and girls and say something nice, I will enroll the credits.
Nanu, nanu, cheeky monkeys.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I've just eaten a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at it. So when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.